What's up, everybody? Mark of Cardivox Academy here, and today we're doing kind of a sleepy video. I am a sleepy guy, but I would love to say it's because I was up late working last night. Wrong. I was up late trying to finish up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth so I could get to that Elden Ring DLC, right? I got my loves over here on the back wall. Final Fantasy, Elden Ring, Mass Effect. So I was being a little bit of an irresponsible guy, but that is not going to keep me from bringing y'all some educational content. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Mark. I am a metal vocalist of about 14 years. I'm in a band called Kardashev. Been doing this metal vocal thing for a very long time, know a lot about it. I'm also a full-time metal vocal coach, teaching people how to do all sorts of crazy sounds, safely and efficiently so they don't hurt themselves. And today we're going to be talking about the new Paleface song. I was going to say the new Zelli song, but that's the vocalist name. The new Paleface song with Nathan James, who this is my first time hearing their music. I don't know who he is. I hope that doesn't make me sound, maybe this is like some big celebrity that I should know, but I'm almost 40. I'm unplugged. I don't know anything, right? That's just what it is. But, right, I'm very excited because I love Zelli's voice. Love his voice, love his like raw, energetic false chord shout, and we're going to talk about it because it's really interesting. So, before we get into it, we definitely take the reaction format. We pause, we rewind, we talk a lot about these sorts of things. So if you don't like reactions where a lot of it is educational, you're in the wrong spot, and you're going to make yourself look like a fool for saying talks too much in the comments. Just know that if in the comments you say, oh, he talks too much, or just let the song play, two things. One, there is a free version, an uninterrupted version of this reaction video of this song on Spotify for you. You just type in Paleface, type in Secrets of the Shadows. You'll get an uninterrupted version. You can go spend your time over there and not waste mine. Two, because I didn't get a lot of sleep, I'm feeling really spicy. Like the not so nice mark is coming out. Two, we will all point and laugh at you, and you will feel shamed, and you should be ashamed. Anyway, I'm really excited to talk about Paleface, so let's go ahead and do it. And yeah, that's all I know. Nathan James, Paleface, Secrets of the Shadows. Here we go.
It's been 8 days of these moments and nights, and there's a creature in the yard that's a darker half of me. I got facts over fiction, and it's a special edition. Nathan James, Paleface, what Stephen King has been missing. I just want to be in the graveyard, cause I know that I can never hit my back on. I know that I'm fucked up, but I like it, and I don't know why. The only thing that can hit my soul is a song that I'm running with the devil in the room, and it's not gonna make me know the negative thing, but I am sure that it's the only thing that drives me fine.
Okay, that's a good place to pause. All right, so let's talk about two things. So first, this is already a vibe I really, really enjoy. I don't, like I said, I don't know a lot about Nathan James. I hope this comparison is not like bad or unwanted, but this is just what I hear. Sometimes people kind of like dunk on that, like, sort of spoken fry sound. That's what we have here. We have a fry register, not to be confused with a fry scream. This is not a fry scream. This is just somebody talking in their fry register, right? Which is essentially our lowest vocal register. Our vocal folds start letting more air through. So we go from like E to that sort of popping, right? And you can control different like you can have like or you can mix it with your true voice. But again, this is not a fry scream. You can't really scream with this exact thing. But I love this sound. It reminds me a lot of like rappers that I really enjoy, like Ghostmane, a lot of stuff that you see. It's the channel's not called Buffet Boys anymore, but a lot of stuff that you saw with like Puya or like Suicide Boys, for example. I really like a lot of that stuff. I really like a lot of rap in general. We just don't talk a lot about it here. But I like the vibe. I like that sound, back against the ambience of the song. What I really like, because it's my jam, is Zelli's voice right in here. Now, I'm not going to go too into detail because I don't want to front the video with too much information. But basically, one thing I want you to pay attention to, I'm not going to go back because there's still a lot of song left. But one thing I want you to pay attention to is that for all the energy, for all the emotion, for all the grit in his voice, it doesn't sound like he's pushing too hard. Now, You might be thinking, well, Mark, how can I tell if somebody's pushing too hard? How can I hear that? Well, let's talk about it, right? Generally speaking, over projection is going to have this underneath it in some degree. It's going to have this sound of choking, or that's not always true, but it's one way, right? It's going to have the sound of either heavy resistance to airflow and airflow pushing against something, like our vocal folds are really like pressed and we're putting a ton of air underneath them, or it's going to sound like everything is way too open and loose and tissues just slapping together really hard, right? We don't hear any of these things here. Everything that we're hearing so far in this song from Zelli is based on the false chord grunt. Right? Just that simple sound, which we're all built to be able to do. The reason we have these false chords, well, there are many, but the reason like we, over time evolved these flappy giblets in our throat is because they're very beneficial for keeping food out of our airway. So we can take this, this we can use it to create really cool distortion, and that's what he's doing here. Let's go ahead and move forward though. But the last thing I want to say is I want you to pay attention to how much emotion that Zelli puts into his screams, because I think he's one of the best when it comes to combining emotion and false chord. I think Zelli and Alex Tayan from Black Tongue, they're kind of like the kings of it, right? But let's keep going.
Secrets of the shadows. The secrets of the shadows. So what you gonna do? Can't ever listen me. I'm fucked up, but I like it. I am thinking for liberation, but don't break down. You can't hide me. This is your judgment day.
I'm going to be an asshole and pause it there and then go back and we can listen to that later. Oh, and part of the reason I'm pausing it right at the big moment is because I just want to enjoy the big moment and not like analyze it. So let's talk about it. I promise we'll get there, right? Already, boom, boom, boom. I love it. So yeah, one thing that's really, really, really cool about not just a false chord in general, but harsh vocals is that once you have the harsh sound down, and your mileage is going to vary. You're going to get some different opinions on this. But one thing that's really cool is you can change the balance of true voice, like phonetic tones. Like you can sit down, you can hear that note inside the scream. Once you have control of the grit, you can do that. And we've already heard Zelli do that quite expertly throughout this song, right? He did some false chord projected out and forward, like he was calling to a friend with like a lighter, like almost like falsetto voice underneath it. Now he's got a little bit more of like a chestier, like I don't think he's like way down deep in his chest, but he's got a little bit more of a chest balance, right? Now, this is something that is actually quite common amongst a lot of bands, but depending on the way you deliver it, it can sound quite different. So, at first we had like basic false chord mid, nothing like with any sort of like compression or arytenoids, none of the like, none of that stuff, right? Just the relaxed, which by the way, if you want to learn how to do that, it's a really great place to start on just your overall metal vocal journey. There's a link in the pinned comment for my e-course, which has helped a lot of people learn how to do this. It's really very useful. Give it a check, give it a try if you want to try to learn how to do these ABC types of vocals, or what you hear here in Paleface. But if we take this false chord, and he is really good at it, like he's really good at this balance. But basic false chord, A, chest voice, A. Head voice, hey, secrets of the shadows. False chord, chest voice, secret of the shadows. You can do a lot of cool stuff, right? his ability to switch back and forth between those spaces so quickly and to control the tone while not losing track of it. Because one thing that's true about false chords is that they're very floppy and they're very air dumpy, right? So when you're first learning, it can feel like trying to hold a Jello tower on a saucer, like it's jiggly and it just wants to go everywhere, and you're like, oh God, right? He does not sound, he's not struggling at all. Let's keep going though. Oh yeah, I said I'd go back. Let's go back to, I don't know, here, I guess.
You cannot tell me this is your judgment day. This is your fucking judgment day. This is your fucking judgment day. The seconds of the shadow. Uncertain, finding my way to pull back the curtain. I always forget, but never forgive. Everyone dies, not everyone lives. I summon the strength when I'm uncertain, finding my way to pull back the curtain. I always forget, but never forgive. Everyone dies, not everyone lives. I summon the strength when I'm uncertain, finding my way to pull back the curtain. I always forgive, but never forget.
I'm going to pause there because this is actually a really good technique place for us. So a couple things I'm noticing about Nathan James's voice. Number one, he's got a pretty decent false chord as well. The false chord that he was doing where it was kind of like over Zelli's shoulder, it was a multi-layered false chord. So we could hear that there were multiple vocal layers that we're hearing at the same time. This is very standard. I double track almost every single vocal I ever do. Not all of them, but most of them. And this is common. There's no, and this isn't like right or wrong. It's just what's going to be best for the mix. What's going to be best for the song, right? Sometimes my students, they'll when I get a new student, they'll be like, "Yo, I found out this vocalist double tracks their voice," and I'm like, "Who told you that you're not allowed to do that? Who's feeding you this boo-boo, this doofy knowledge, right?" If it makes sense to double track the voice, or if you just like, listen, there are no rules. If you're at the mic and you think something sounds cool, then you're doing it right. That's it, in my opinion, right? Next, what we could hear, which I actually thought was pretty cool and pretty interesting, was that, I think we had a little bit of panning going on, which that's also very common. So I feel kind of safe in saying that, but I don't quite remember. But one thing that I heard that was making his voice sound very like wide and big, and again, I'm hearing this for the first time, so if I'm wrong, let me know, was that we had like kind of a mid, then we had a, so we had like slightly lower and slightly higher sounds of basically the same vocal. This is a really cool technique. And it can make your vocals sound really aggressive, really monstrous, right? And I think it's great. I really liked the way that it was done there. Singing voice, he's definitely playing it close to the chest, but I think that that's kind of the style, right? So what we have, especially in his more like connected voice, is really kind of just like speaking on pitch, right? And I don't remember the lyrics of the melody, so I'm not going to try to sing what he sang. But speaking on pitch is actually a really good way to start learning how to sing. And it's, if done properly, a really good thing to sing even professionally, right? One of the best ways to do this is to literally just do what it is in the title, speak on pitch. So one exercise I use with a lot of my students, and this is going to lead into something we're going to talk about on how you can understand what Zelli is doing here, even though we're talking about Nathan. Anyway, one thing you can do is you can pretend you're at work. Pretend your friends say like, "Hey, do you want to go out for beers?" And you don't want to. Alcohol is less popular these days anyway, and it makes your stomach hurt, or like you just want to go home and hang out and watch TV. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter your reason. So you're going to say, that's okay. Well, you just sung a note. Right? Now, again, this is not going to make you, this is not like sing perfectly in 30 seconds bullcrap, right? It is, you're not going to be like building a music career on just the sound, but effectively you sing a note. That's okay. Let's try another one. That's all right. No thanks. Okay. So it's going to sound really boring and bland when we do it here, right? But you can literally don't sing happy birthday, talk happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zelli and Nathan, right? Now, again, the point here is this is a good way to start learning how to sing. Was it a little boring? Yeah. For me, for the thing that I did, not Nathan, the thing that I did, sure, it was a little bit boring, but my airflow was nice. My placement was good. My pitch was, at least relative to the other notes I was singing, pretty solid, right? So you already have a lot of things locked down. Now, this is also nice because this is a good lead-in into the way we can project our voice, the way that we're hearing Zelli slowly build up to it. And that's kind of the reason I wanted to pause, because I was like, ooh, this is a really good example. He's basically doing a vocal exercise or multiple vocal exercises for us right now, right? So oftentimes when I have students who want to do this, and he's doing it really, really well, I'm going to back up so you can hear it after I explain it. Oftentimes when I have students who want to do this, we first start learning to speak on pitch, just in their chest voice. And the reason we're going to do this is because we're going to take that speaking on pitch and we're going to lift it towards calling to somebody, maybe like, I don't know, 10 meters away, right? They're a European band. I'm being respectful with the meters versus the feet. All right. We're like, I think there are only like two other countries in the entire world who use feet and yards and all this mess. Miles. The fuck is a kilometer? Sorry. Anyway, so we can take that and we can take the relaxation. This is the key. It's not just about sounding right. It's about feeling right. We take the relaxation. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. My voice is really boring, but that's kind of the point, right? Now I'm going to take that. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey. So the interesting thing is that my voice is much louder, much more projected, much more forceful, but it feels the same as speaking on pitch as far as effort in my throat. And that's the key, because if we have a relaxed throat, we're going to have room for all of that jiggly stuff to roll around and give us the screams that we want, right? Another thing is, notice how when we call it to somebody, our voice goes up, doesn't go low. Interesting, right? A lot of times when people try to do these types of screams, they put their voice down. But have you ever heard anybody get mad and say like, hey, get away from my car? No, maybe Patrick Starr, but if I go, hey, buddy, hey, yo, hey, yo, right? Boom, there we go. And despite the graveliness, it's very comfortable. I will do that 8 lessons in a row sometimes. And at the end of the day, I'm fine, right? So I'm going to back it up because you can hear Zelli basically doing this, but like in steps, he's talking like this, then talking like this, then talking like this. Now, I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to guess, talking like this. Probably. Let's go ahead and find out. We'll go back, I don't know, here.
Everyone dies, not everyone lives. I summon the strength when I'm uncertain, finding my way to pull back the curtain. I always forgive, but never forgive. Everyone dies, not everyone lives. Not everyone lives! Not everyone lives! Everyone dies! Not everyone lives! Everyone dies! Not everyone lives!
Listen to that. Listen to that. This is the coolest, for me, from a technique perspective, from a vocal nerd perspective. This is the coolest vocal part of the song. He did not change his fundamental technique. Still true chord phonation with a lot of harsh false fold, upper throat, supraglottal tissue vibration, distorting the sound. But the emotion changed. That's some cool shit. That's in my opinion, very, very, very cool. Not necessarily hard to do on a technical level, but it can be difficult to do on like a performance level because, I obviously love harsh vocals. I've built a career on it. I've been doing it forever in my band Kardashev. I do a lot of it. And I've always viewed myself not as a singer who screams, but as a screamer who can sing when I have to. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how I view myself as a vocalist. But truthfully, one of the, there is nothing in this world that is perfect or without its weaknesses. And one of the weaknesses of extreme vocalization is that cathartic emotion is not something that it conveys as well as other techniques to the majority of people. Yes, I know there's probably going to be somebody in the comments who's like, I cry every time I listen to Lorna Shore though. And I'm like, that I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that most of the time, if you took somebody who likes harsh vocalization, but also likes all other types of music, they would probably say, as far as an emotional experience, like feeling like sadness or joy or happiness, that tends to come from more clean styles, right? So what we have here, he goes from aggression to like almost hype, right? Like he's going from like, you know, I'm gonna make you bite the curb to like, here's my message, it's all going to be fine. I don't know if the lyrics are talking about it's going to be fine, but that's the emotion that's being conveyed. Check it out. Really cool. And he does it as the tone of the song changes. Smart stuff. Do what the song needs. As vocalists, I say this all the time. As vocalists, we play support to the music, usually. Unless it's pop, which is not a dig on pop. Sometimes I say stuff like that and people are like, oh, don't insult pop. And I'm like, yo, I love pop music, so leave me alone.
Forgive, everyone dies, not everyone lives.
I'm mad.
Not everyone lives.
I'm mad.
Not everyone lives. Everyone dies, not everyone lives. Everyone dies, not everyone lives. Everyone dies, not everyone lives. Not everyone lives.
Nice. You know, it's kind of interesting. I feel like the arf is the new bleh, which like, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I like the arf. The arf is no problem. But it used to be every time there was like a distinct change in the song, the vocalist was going, right? And now we've got like, you know, arf. Doesn't bother me. I'm not against trends. On principle. Also, it's interesting. I feel like the I don't know what the term for this would be. The beat down is the slow replacement of the breakdown, right? Like if we think back to like the 2010s and earlier, most metal songs, even like pre-deathcore, they had every song. People would be like, "Where's the breakdown, bro?" Every song had to have a breakdown. Got a little tiresome. We're not above it. There are some Carter Shift songs with some breakdowns, okay, but you know there was always like the and now these days we have more like dum 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 bum 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 over top of it, and somebody screaming more aggressively. So it's like I feel like we've gone from like that like very staccato open string, you know, if you looked at the tabs 0000000000000000000. Now we're doing, you know, more melodic movement and generally doing like harsher, more hardcore influence screams than we are what was it? Yeah, essentially you get the idea, right? We're getting a lot more of that hardcore influence in metal. And if you tell me that hardcore is not metal, maybe you're right. I have to let you know I don't care. I don't. You're probably right. I'm probably wrong. But I have no interest. I have no horse in that race. But I will say that I love how a lot of that influence is coming in. It's coming in because I think it's adding to metal what feels like a very fresh new flavor of aggression in music, even though hardcore's been around for a very, very long time, right? Doing a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, and I think that Zelli's voice is perfect for it. I think that this may be the most, you know, I haven't heard Paleface's whole discography, but I've heard a lot of it. Maybe I have actually, because I've heard a lot of Paleface. I've listened to a lot of Paleface, and I will tell you that this may be the most just like generally relaxed I've heard his voice. And maybe that's why I liked his performance so much. Nathan James' performance was good, don't get me wrong. I don't know if it's like really my thing as much. There was nothing wrong with it. There was no bad technique. It's just, from what I heard here, I'll check out some Nathan James music, but I kind of anticipate I'll be like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. And then maybe not revisit it. Paleface though, oof, good stuff. Anyways, let's turn this off so I can send her out. Get out of here. Anyways, a lot of great vocal technique in this song. A lot of cool stuff. And I feel like Zelli just gets better and better each release. And it's interesting because it shows that you don't have to completely always reinvent your technique to get better at it, right? So if you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot. If you're interested in taking vocal lessons with me, I've been at this for 4 or 5 years. I always get mixed up. Had a ton of students. We've got an alumni playlist here on YouTube if you want to see kind of different students I've helped. That playlist is full of all different skill levels, beginners, intermediate, advanced. And if you're not so sure about lessons, but you kind of want to just get your feet wet, I do have an e-course, False Chord Fundamentals. It's linked in the description and the comment below. And that's all I have for you. Paleface is really good. Go check them out. If you've never heard Paleface, I highly suggest digging into their discography because it's just a lot of good pissed off fun. It's punch your buddy music, and I love it. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for your time. Many thanks, much love. I'm out.